since The Sixth Sense. Own the video and DVD March 4th.
LeAnn was known in the area as the little girl with the big voice.
You can sing and sing and sing, but if you don't have the right label, you might as well just sing in the shower.
Quite a few labels around town had passed on LeAnn.
People thought she's just too young. She's not going to know how to handle this career. She's not ready. And then Curb Records came along.
Every person you meet on the street either sings or has a daughter who sings, and every friend you have gives you a tape. You listen to those tapes, and almost all the time they're not magical. All of a sudden, along comes Blue, and it was just magical.
Mike looked past the age and saw the voice and said, we can take that, we can share that with radio.
I just knew that once America heard that voice properly recorded, that America would fall in love with that sound.
All of the biggest country artists were signed to Curb Records.
Tim McGraw, Sawyer Brown, Winona.
She was just out of her mind with happiness.
Just like, oh my God, this is it, it's finally happening. As soon as, you know, everything had been signed, the contracts were done, I remember her almost immediately going into the studio.
LeAnn had a lot of input on her album.
She just had this musical ear. I mean, she could hear things that none of us could hear.
She would turn around and say, bring up the background vocals over here. You know, give me more steel over here.
She knows exactly what she wants from each song.
A lot of other artists rely on sound engineers to help them create the sound for their album.
So here she is, this little girl, telling these adults, no, no, I need you to change it here. They may have raised their eyebrows for a little bit, but, you know, she was right.
The first single from LeAnn was Blue.
Why can you be blue?
Blue was just so different from anything that was on the menu.
It stood out because it was much more traditional, and at the time, country was kind of going through sort of a pop thing.
Nashville creatively was very much in a rut in the middle 90s. Was awash in a sea of sound-alike, look-alike artists.
If radio is playing a lot of very progressive records, sometimes it's very hard to get a record with a retro sound played because it fights the musical format.
LeAnn had several major cities that were receptive immediately to Blue.
But there were stations that thought Blue was too country.
There was one station in Tulsa who just flat out refused to play it.
We were all pulling our hair out. What is the deal?
Everyone was passionate about it, whether there was a passion for it or a passion against it.
And there was a lot of requests. Phone lines were burning up for that song.
Radio did not want it, but the people wanted it, the people liked it.
People responded to that song almost like no other song I've ever heard.
I think the public's ears were so tired of hearing the same sounding records. It was time for somebody to come through there being real, you know, doing something that was genuine.
All of a sudden, here comes this song on the Billboard chart.
When the song started hitting the top 20, top 15, everyone became a believer.
Now, everybody wants to get on the bandwagon because radio stations are interested in ratings. This thing is hotter than a pistol in Detroit, and it's hotter than a pistol in L.A. We better jump on board here. We're missing the boat. I mean, everybody was talking about it. Have you heard Blue? Have you heard LeAnn Rimes?
Is she really only 13?
There was just a really big push for the album.
It made Curb make that decision to say, let's move the sucker up and let's put it out.
It came on the country chart at #1.
The album was just on fire, and it was just going crazy.
It was unfathomable. No solo female had sold that many units the first week out.
It was being played on the country stations, rock stations, pop stations.
It wasn't just our friend LeAnn anymore. It became, you know, more of a national movement.
Meet LeAnn Rimes.
I'm Eddie Arnold. Guest LeAnn Rimes.
Please welcome LeAnn Rimes.
LeAnn Rimes is the young woman with the great big voice.
My next guest is only 14 years old.
We released Light in Your Eyes after the Blue single, became #1, and Light in Your Eyes was doing very well for her. But One Way Ticket took off in a life of its own.
One Way Ticket, that was a new step for her. I mean, this was a serious, full-on video with serious wardrobe changes and hairstylists.
That's the first video that really showed who LeAnn was. The audience only knew her from Blue as this girl singing this real beautiful song, but when they saw One Way Ticket, they got to see LeAnn. They got to see her passion, her dance, her move. They got to see who she was as a girl, as a person. There's a line in the song that says, "I'm going to have my breakfast with pink champagne." The minute radio stations heard that, red flag goes up. She can't talk about drinking pink champagne.
They loved the song, but the fact that it was this young girl singing it, it was almost, hard to comprehend.
And I'm sitting there going, it's a song. Let her sing it. Don't take it literally. She's not in the back, chugging champagne.
Another song I know got some criticism was My Baby. I mean, it was a very adult song. It was sexual.
My baby gives me satisfaction.
They had a few problems with their songs because they were adult songs, and LeAnn to them wasn't an adult.
LeAnn was very frustrated about it.
If they can accept her with Blue in this incredible voice, why couldn't they accept her singing other songs?
There's always going to be naysayers, no matter what, when people are having success.
She got compared to Tanya Tucker and as being trashy, and that's one of the things that she would constantly be aware of.
And I remember one time a local writer made a comment about her image.
About how she had dressed a little too provocatively and credited her as being tarted up.
This quote about whoever dolled her up should be shot. Imagine LeAnn reading this. She was visibly upset by it.
I can't imagine having gone through that at that age. For me, I don't know that I could have handled it.
LeAnn's parents had always, instilled in LeAnn that, what, people are going to talk. They're going to have negative comments about things that you're doing, and that's just going to come with the territory.
LeAnn learned very early on to suck it up and just accept it.
The criticism, I think, made her stronger.
She learned from those things rather than letting them destroy her.
It didn't stop her, and it wouldn't stop her.
Next, the stress of touring takes its toll.
It didn't matter if you had 104 fever or you had to go throw up. You know what? You go to the side of the stage and you get sick, the show must go on.
She walked off the stage and she collapsed.
Then, LeAnn goes toe-to-toe with pop music's top acts.
No country artist had ever won Best New Artist.
And LeAnn, being 14, was really a long shot.
Nobody thought she would win. Her publicist, management, no one.